Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay homage to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, pay homage to Bada Bhante, Guru Bhante, Bhikshu Sangh. I give my metta to Anagarikas and Upasakas, Upasikas. So, we are here once again for another Sunday, like every Sunday. Some of you may be new, some of you may be coming quite often. So it is important for us to gather often for the spiritual practice, to listen to Dhamma, to meditate, to do chanting, right? So, very important. Today, Shivaratri, Mahashivaratri, is a practice in India to stay awake throughout the night, right? In Buddha also spoke about Jagarano Yutta, that is wakefulness, how to be wakeful, not to be sleepy, not to be sluggish, to be active, So it's a day today for us to remind ourselves whether we are wakeful or we are sleepy. Ask yourself, are you wakeful or are you sleepy in your life? So, sleepy is when you are in greed, hatred, delusion, lobha, dosa, moha, akushala, unwholesome state of mind. When you have less mindfulness in your life, that is sleepy, But if you are more mindful, you have less akushala, more kushala, wholesome, that is non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion, then you are wakeful, right? You are active. And it is a very important practice, jagrata, it is in Pāli, jagrata. Which means how often we are mindful, right? As Buddha says in one place that better to live one day being wakeful, being mindful, than to live for 100 years without being mindful, without being wakeful, like that he mentioned, right? So, on this Shivaratri day, we should remind ourselves that we are, I think, in other words, we can say how we are using our time, how much we are using our time for mindfulness, how much we are not mindful, basically using our time, because we have a limited time, we are always in a delusion that we are forever, Are you forever here or going to die? Or you have a limited time, maybe 50 years, 60 years, or 70 year or 80, maximum 90. I think 90 is the highest these days, I guess. Our teacher, he lived for 92 or 91, 92, I think 92. But he had many heart surgery, 7-time heart surgery. And he was surviving on medicine, right? Thanks to the modern medicine. Right, so we have a limited time, right? So we may be sometime aware of our deadline in exam, in your project submission, that we are generally wakeful, right? We are a little bit careful, we know. But what about our life? That also has a deadline. And the most frightening part is that we don't know when is that deadline. Right? We don't know when is that deadline. Right? Isn't it frightening? Isn't it frightening that you don't know when is your last day or deadline? We are worried about exams, we are worried about our project submissions, some event, all of that, but we also have a deadline. So as we focus on our exam deadline or project deadline, we should also reflect on our life's deadline, which is we don't know when, right? And why is it important to think about it? It is important because human life is very, very precious. Kicho manusa patilabo. Buddha mentioned that human life is very precious. Because we have human life, we sometime, or most of the time, or many times, we take it for granted. No, we just take it for very lightly, or we don't realize, right? But in this cycle of birth and death, based on our karma, where we die and born, again and again, on and on, human life is very, very important, very special. Right? Because we can grow as an individual. We can grow, we can make progress, spiritual progress. Spiritual progress is nothing but inner progress. Right? You grow within, you grow in wholesome. Why is it important? Because those wholesome deeds, karma, continues life after life, life after life. And we grow more, and we grow more, right? In wholesome, in goodness. And eventually we go beyond the goodness itself. We achieve the highest freedom. And sometimes it sounds quite heavy, some of this thing when I speak about, wholesome and highest freedom. These things sounds very heavy, but they are very much simple as well, right? Because when we are more mindful, when we are more committed to goodness, wholesomeness, then we can see that we are growing in happiness, we are growing in wholesomeness, we are growing in joyfulness, right? So that's something we can see in our day-to-day life, right? So we need to practice wakefulness and spend more time in wholesome, in goodness, as much as we can. We don't need to push ourselves too hard, in the sense that we grow in that, we try to grow in wholesome too fast. It's not possible. It's not possible. As Buddha spoke about the gradual path, Buddha says everything is gradual. Things happen gradually, not suddenly, not instantly, right? So we don't need to be too much hard on ourselves. At the same time, we don't need to be too slow, too sleepy, to be wakeful. Okay, so today I give a teaching which was given by Buddha to a monk named Punovada Sutta. And this Punna, he was from Mumbai, present-day Mumbai, in a place which is called Sunaparanta. I think he was staying, because there's another Punna from Sakya, but this Punna, he is known as Punna from Sunaparanta, which is Mumbai, Nalasupara, modern day Nalasupara. And so this teaching Buddha gave on request from Venerable Punna, because he wanted to go to Sunaparanta, Mumbai side, to practice meditation, to practice meditation alone, for seclusion practice. This is sometime the monks, they go for long seclusion, maybe 1 week or 1 month or few months or even few years as well, And these days, even not only monk, even upasaka, even householders, lay people also go for retreat, 10 days, 20 days, 45 days, 60, 90, even 90 days also, There is the different centers for practicing seclusion, Some of you who are interested can do, this kind of meditation. I'm also conducting one from next March 14 to 21 in Bodh Gaya. in the place where Buddha got enlightenment. So some of you are interested can join. It is both for beginner and also who have already been doing meditation for a long time. So this kind of retreat he wanted to do, Punna, right? And he was already practicing meditation and learning in the monastery, but he felt that he was not progressing, right? So he wanted to go somewhere, some place, And this is something we see very often in the scripture, different monks going to different places, And there is an interesting story in the second part of this sutra, where he wanted to go and then what should be his attitude. We will come, there is two parts in this sutra, we will come to that. But he went to Buddha and he said, Sir, Bhante, may the Buddha please teach me Dhamma in brief. In brief, when I have heard it, I will live alone, withdrawn, diligent, keen, and resolute. So he wanted a teaching in brief, in short, not too long, but in short, because maybe he learned many things and now he wants to practice something which is suitable for him, right? So this is also one of the special quality of the Buddha, which is Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarathi. That is incomparable guide for human being, for individual. It can be human being or even divine being also. Which means that Buddha can guide everyone individually. What is necessary for that individual, the Buddha can figure it out. And Buddha can actually give the teaching to that individual according to his state of mind, according to his thinking, according to his past, according to his spiritual maturity. So that's something the Buddha had as a special quality. So probably that's the reason he asked Buddha to give him what is suitable for him, that too in a short format. Then Buddha gave the teaching. He says, Punna, there are sights known by the eye, which are likable, desirable, agreeable, pleasant, sensual, and arousing. If a mendicant approves, welcomes, and keeps clinging to them, this gives rise to relishing. Relishing is the origin of suffering, I say. Right? So also sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, all this, basically all the six senses. So he says that through our six senses we come across something which we like. First of all, something which we like. We see something we like. Then we want. Then it matches with us. We see whether it matches with us or not. Then whether we love it or not. Then whether we enjoy it or not. Then whether we enjoy and whether it keeps us continuing, right? So such things we will come across through our eyes, And if somebody approves, welcomes, approves means yes, this is nice. I like it, Or welcomes. Okay, it's good. I think it is good, right? Keeps clinging to them. Then I want it again and again. I want it again and again. Then I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it, right? Now Buddha says, relishing. He used the word relishing. Relishing means you're really into it, right? You want to see something, maybe movie or any other thing that you maybe art, maybe people, or for some people it can be mountain or some piece of art, or I don't know, some statue or trees or something, right? So it can be people. So something that you like, that you feel good, what Buddha is saying is that if you are, in simple word, if you cling to it, right? If you cling to it, which means you are somehow occupied by the thing that you like, by the thing that you like. It can be anything, right? Through sound, music. It can be any other food. It can be perfume. It can be some touch, or certain kind of touch, or certain kind of thoughts, ideas, or So if you just enjoy it, and not just enjoy, but you are you are cling to it, and you think that's going to give you happiness, and then you are totally into it, right? In some way, you can say you are attached to it. You can say you are attached to it, and you are totally occupied. Then Buddha said, that is the origin of suffering, right? That is the origin of suffering. So now you may think that, then I should not like anything, or I should not enjoy anything, movie or any food or sound, or people or place. No, that is not the meaning. That is not the meaning here. Why? Why I say so? Because there is another teaching by Buddha to a person called, to a person whose name was Bahya Darucharya. Bahya Darucharya. He was also from Mumbai, right? He was also from Mumbai side, right? He was a naked monk, not a Buddhist monk, but he was, before he was the monk who doesn't wear any cloth, so from Mumbai side. No, he was not totally naked. He would put one tree daru, that is a tree's skin. What do you call tree skin? What you call the tree skin? All right, just cover his part of the body, some part of the body. Anyway, so he comes to Buddha, and he also wanted a teaching in short. So the short is not a new thing that we have today. Video short, you got it? So even those days, people wanted something in short. So this both, right? This monk Punna and that monk No, he was not a Buddhist monk at that time, but he also wanted something in short, right? Okay, so there Buddha says, when you see something, just see it. When you hear something, just hear it. When you smell something, just smell it. Taste something, just taste it. Touch some, just touch it. And also, what thinking, just think, or observe, That was the teaching given to him. That's it. And after hearing that teaching, practicing, he becomes enlightened, right? So what does that mean? Which means, you see something, it may be pleasant, but okay, it is pleasant. Something is nice, yes, it is nice. Beautiful, yes, it's beautiful. Pleasant, yes, it's pleasant. Sweet, yet it is sweet. Tasty, yet it's tasty. Nice, good, right? That's it. So you just feel it, you just see it, but you don't hold on to it, right? You don't attach to it. You don't cling to it. This is me. I want it again and again. I want to keep it myself. I want it again. Because then there is a suffering. Because maybe you may not have the same feeling again with those experience, or you may lose that. You may lose what you like. A lot of things can happen, right? And suffering can follow, right? So this is what the Buddha says, in that place. Just see, just experience, not get attached. So then the next part is nothing but same, but what he says is somebody who doesn't approve, welcome, cling, relish. So all this six sensory experience, if you don't get attached, then your suffering will end, right? Your suffering ends. So as I said, you don't need to give up many things, but you need to, of course, some amount of giving up we have to do. For a monk, there are certain prescription, and for the lay people, there are certain prescription. But then, the most important thing is you don't cling. You don't cling to it, right? Okay, so this is the teaching the Buddha gives, as he asked for the short one. So Buddha gave a short teaching, right? Now it's a very most important question now. The second part of the sutra. Not very long, it's a short one again, but very important question. So Buddha asked, Punna, now that I have given you this brief advice, what country will you live in? Bante, there is a country named Sunaparanta. I shall live there. So those days, India was not one country. Okay, it was, every state was one country, There is a mention of 16 Janapadas, So there was different countries. So he said, I will go to Sunaparanta. So Sunaparanta, as I said, is in modern Nalasopara in Mumbai. Some of you may have heard of it. Nalasopara, quite popular in Mumbai. Then Buddha said, the people of Sunaparanta are wild and rough, Punna. If they abuse and insult you, what will you think of them? Right? So it seems that those people were quite harsh and wild, the Marathi people. Any Marathi people here? Sujata, you are there. Marathi people, they are a little tough, rough, huh? No? Maybe, I don't know. I cannot. But of course, sometimes we hear some news from Mumbai, people breaking something, some kind of thing we do here. So I think it must be true, no? Because they were known for that from that time. So surely there must be even now, right? So sometime we do hear in the news. I don't want to tell the details of the news, but you know. Sometimes it is also because of the certain weathers as well, right? Because of the certain geography, weather, people tend to become little bit irritated where there is a lot of humidity, like Kolkata, Madras, Chennai, and Mumbai, where it's a coastal area and it is a lot of humidity, and then there people tend to become little rough, But that doesn't mean that they are very bad people, but it's just a habit, maybe they look rude, but inside doesn't necessarily mean they are cruel, So that is also there. But anyway, so he said, if they are very vile, if they insult you, abuse you, what you will do, So here one question, one thing that we can think of is that why he wanted to go to Sunaparanta, that is one question. So that is something, as I said, different monks used to go to different places. I think that is their own kind of certain karmic influence, because of which they want to, certain place is suitable for you. And why I say this is that in the Karanametta Sutta, those monks, who were troubled by some tree gods, they came back to Buddha, and Buddha gave them Karanametta Sutta, the teaching on loving kindness, and told them, you must go to the same place. You must go to the same place. So I think sometime it is a particular place that kind of works well with you, right? So you can yourself think, oh, which place is good for me, right? I think Hyderabad is good already, isn't it? It's already good. But anyway, if you like to change some other city. So then what you will do? So now Punna, he replies, if they abuse and insult me, I will think, these people of Sunaparanta are gracious, truly gracious, since they don't hit me with their fist. That's what I will think, Blessed One. That's what I will think, Holy One. So he will think, oh, these people are so good, so nice, so kind, people of Sunaparanta, that they are not giving a fist, a kind of a punch, a kind of a punch or mukha. No mukha. They are so kind. They are just insulting me, abusing me. They're not hitting with me with their hand or, boxing, I will think like that. Right? So this is what he replied. Now you may think, why he think like this, This kind of thinking is required to overcome anger, hatred, right? Because if you think like if you think, oh, they are so bad, they are abusing me, such a cruel people, what will happen? You will have more anger, irritability, hatred, right? But if you think something good about them, that is one of the technique I keep telling, and of course Buddha also speaks in some other sutra, that you have to see some small, even if it is a very, very small goodness in a people who are insulting you, who are troubling you. You must see that small goodness also, so that whatever anger, irritability, jealousy, hatred that you have will drop down. Right? So I think that is a very important message here. It looks very simple, but very important. You can try it in your own life. Whenever you are angry with somebody, especially your family members, or even the country, nowadays because of our politics, there is people, even the families are separated because of political ideology, So where you are thinking, my way is the highway, as they say, right? I am right, others are wrong. Do you really think so? You are the only right, others are wrong? Very important question, right? And this happens very often. I have experienced in my own life. I've saw people where when you like somebody, everything that person does is good, is great, it's wonderful, pleasant, nice. Even if they do a very, very bad thing, you say, oh, that's just a thing, but she has some other good thing, no. What is there is a small thing. But when you hate somebody, then even the most noblest thing the person will do, you will find fault. You will see, oh, he's just doing that, faking it. He's just faking it. He's not true. He's not right. He's just, faking it. He's not, that is just a scam, I've seen that. And I hope you have seen that as well. So very important, very simple, deep, important, practical message, that we can gain from this sutra. It is not complicated. Is it so? Is it complicated? I don't think it is complicated. And this is something very much important in our life. It is very, very much part of our life. So, whenever you have some anger, hatred towards somebody, think something good the person has done. Then you will have no anger, no hatred. Because anger, hatred, irritability, jealousy, malevolence, it is not nice, it is not pleasant. It is very, very, heavy, isn't it? It is so much heavy, it is so unwholesome. It will make you to speak something bad. It will make you something to act bad, speak bad, think bad. Your sleep will be disturbed. Your relationship will be spoiled. And you will look very, very hideous. You will look very, very much bad. You will look so much grumpy. You will not look pleasant. So this is what he will think. Now Buddha is asking, but if they do hit you with their fist, what will you think of them then? Now the next question from the Buddha is this, if they actually hit you with a fist, with a boxing, what you will do? If they hit me with their fist, I will think, these people of Sunaparanta are gracious, truly gracious. Since they don't throw stones at me, that's what I will think, Blessed One, that's what I will think, the Holy One. So we will think, oh, they're just hitting me, but they're not throwing stone, which is more harmful. So kind, huh? At least they are not throwing stone to me, just hitting with a with a hand. At least they are good, I will think like that. This is what he said he will do. But then the Buddha said, but if they do throw stones at you, what you will think of them then? This is the next question. If they throw stones at me, I will think, these people of Sunaparanta are gracious, truly gracious, since they don't beat me with a club. That's what I will think, Blessed One, that's what I will think, Holy One. With some stick, big, like a bamboo stick, like a police stick, kind of thing. But if they do beat me, or beat you with a club, what you will think of them? Now the next question, right? If they beat me with a club, I will think, these people of Sunaparanta are gracious, truly gracious, since they don't stab me with a knife. That's what I will think, Blessed One. That's what I will think, Holy One. At least they are just stabbing with the stick, like a lathi charge. What will happen at the most? Something will here and there. I will put some medicine, it will be okay. They are not stabbing me with a knife, But if they do stab you with a knife, what will you think of them then? If they stab me with a knife, I will think, these people of Sunaparanta are gracious, truly gracious, since they don't take my life with a sharp knife. That's what I will think, Blessed One. That's what I will think, Holy One. So they are just stabbing me with a knife, which again can be managed with some medicine. They are not using a very, like a actual, attacking kind of a bigger knife, to take my life. But if they do take your life with a sharp knife, what will you think? What you will think of them then? If they take my life with a sharp knife, I will think, there are disciples of the Buddha who looked for a suicide weapon because they were horrified, repelled, and disgusted with the body and with life. And I found this without looking. That's what I will think, Blessed One. That's what I will think, Holy One. So this is a little bit this thing, so this thing that he is mentioning about some monk, who were meditating on the body, the bodily part. There are 32 parts of the body, right? So you meditate on the body so that you are not attached to the body, right? So they were meditating on that too much, in the sense they were not, again, balancing with loving kindness, because when you just meditate on the body, each part by part, then you feel kind of disgusted with the body. You feel your body is so bad, you feel little bit disgusting, disgust. So they were not meditating on loving kindness, which means to love, because not getting attached to body doesn't mean you shouldn't love people. Sometimes you should not be too attached to the body. So there is a balance which those monks couldn't do. So they were just meditating on and on the bodily part. As a result, they lost their life. They just committed suicide. They thought this body is such a disgusting thing. Somehow they were mentally totally transformed in a very negative way, right? So he's saying that they had to do it by, themselves, but for me somebody is doing, right? So what does this mean? Is that, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that, I look for death, right? He is not saying that he's looking for death. But what he is saying is that no matter what, whether harsh speech, whether fist blow, whether with a stone, whether with a stick, whether with a knife, whether with a sharp knife taking life, I will not give way to anger. I will not give way to hatred. That's the teaching here. Of course, this is especially for monk, you can say so, right? So, that it doesn't again mean that you don't practice self-defense and all of that, but you can do self-defense, you can do all other things, because Buddha also, is practical. But what he's saying is that make sure that you don't give rise to anger within your heart, right? Even if somebody is killing you, you have to think, you have to somehow think something else so that you don't give rise to anger. Because if you die with anger, that is much more miserable than dying without anger, by dying with love, right? So, no, don't give rise to anger, right? So that's the message here, right? No matter what, anger, hatred cannot be justified at all cost, right? Because if you give any room for even the slightest of anger and hatred, you are going to go to a large amount of anger and hatred. So even the small one, you shouldn't give rise. That's the message here. But then, of course, whatever steps you want to take, you can take again. But make sure that you don't have anger, even a slight anger, toward anybody. Because if you have any slight of anger, that is your own loss. Your own loss, you will give rise to more anger, and then you will not be free from anger, and that anger will put you down, right? But at the same time, I say that maybe somebody is troubling you, maybe you can take steps, different legal steps, different support, whatever, right? You can maybe run away or whatever those practical things you have to do. It's not, Buddha is not saying, but at all cost, inside your mind, no anger toward anybody, right? Then only you will be free. Otherwise, you will not be free. And then Punna welcome. Okay, good Punna. Having such self-control and peacefulness, you will be quite capable of living in Suna Paranta. Now Punna, go at your convenience. So Buddha says, good Punna, now you have a good self-control. Which is self-control, right? Here the self-control is very important. Liking something, disliking something, right? So you are liking something too much, you get attached. You disliking something, you get angry. So you have to have that balance, that stability, as Buddha said, peacefulness, control and peacefulness. You will be quite capable of Suna Paranta, so you will be able to stay there. Now you can go whenever you like, And then Punna welcomed and agreed with the Buddha's word. He got up from his seat, bowed, and respectfully circled the Buddha, keeping him on his right. Then he set his lodging in order, and taking his bowl and robe, set out for Suna Paranta. Traveling stage by stage, he arrived at Suna Paranta and stayed there. Within that rainy season, he confirmed around 500 male and female lay followers. And within the same rainy season, he realized the three knowledges. Sometime later, he became fully extinguished. Then several mendicants went up to the Buddha and bowed down and sat to one side and said to him, Sir, the gentleman named Punna, who was advised in brief by the Buddha has passed away. Where has he reborn in his next life? Because Punna was astute, he practiced in line with the teaching and did not trouble me about the teaching. Punna has become fully quenched. This is what the Buddha said. Satisfied, the bhikkhus have proven what the Buddha said. So, because he had this kind of attitude, within that rainy season, within that 3 months of rainy season, he helped many hundreds of lay followers and lay male and female followers to grow in Dharma, and himself became Arahant very soon because he had this kind of attitude. So, this is the teaching from the Punovada Sutta. Now we can practice in our day-to-day life, right? We don't give too much to attachment and not too much to hatred, anger. That is the message. But for that, this story we have to hear, So with this, I conclude this sutra teaching. So.